All right, so thank you all for coming today. If we're ready to get started, I'd like you to come to stand at the back of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Roll from side to side on your feet. Lengthen up through the side body. Roll your shoulders back and down. Then come to bring your weight evenly distributed across both your feet. Hands can come to heart center. Shut your eyes. Just a couple of easy breaths here. Just ready to start the day. Filling the body with air. And then a long, slow exhale. I feel like spring is finally showing up here. Yesterday it felt warm. Filling the body with this spring air. I feel like it's easy to take a big breath in again. And as you release, just release all of the layers, the winter, what we've been carrying around with us. Can inhale all the new things, all the spring things. And then let's softly open our eyes. Drop your fingertips down towards the mat. And then let's inhale them up, your fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale now, bring your right hand to your left wrist and reach it up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to bring that left hand up and over, squeezing the right side of your waist, bringing your weight into your right foot. Maybe your left foot can even float up off the mat. Maybe, or maybe not, as long as you got your weight in the right foot. Reach that left hand further over. Let your right hand help it. And then drop your left hip down towards the mat. Inhale, left foot comes down, fingertips come up. Left hand takes the right wrist, brings it up and over. Start to compress through the left side of your body. Bring your weight into your left foot. Really reaching up with your right rib cage. Maybe you can float the right foot. Maybe that doesn't feel good this morning. That's up to you. But drop the right hip down towards the floor. Really find some stretching through the side body. Right foot comes down, fingertips come up. As you exhale, hands to heart center, soften your knees. And let's forward fold to a waterfall pose. So you're just going to let the crown of your head drop. Let your shoulders puddle up around your ears. Maybe take opposite elbows here. And sway from side to side. Dropping your hands down onto your mat now. Walk your hands forward until you are in a down dog pose. Letting your heels drop back towards the back of the mat. Shaking your head out, letting your head be very heavy. Releasing any tension that you might be feeling in the neck. Shoulders are broad here and relaxed, so you can melt your heart down towards the mat, towards your legs. Hollow out the belly. Big breath in here. Long, slow exhale. Gaze forward between your thumbs and walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Find a halfway lift here. Fingertips on the shins, crown of the head's reaching forward. Exhale, pull the belly in, lower to a forward fold. This time a little more active. Press into the hands, lift the hips. Really drop the crown of the head. Soften your knees now and let's roll all the way up to stand. Take your time. When your crown of your head comes up towards the ceiling, you can lift the fingertips. Gaze up if that feels good to you. Remember to drop your tailbone, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands to heart center. Toes together, heels apart. Inhale, the fingertips down, around, and up. And then exhale to a chair pose, sliding the hips back and down. Turn the tailbone down. Find strength in the core here. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Now lower your hands so that they're coming straight out from your hips. And then roll the shoulders back again so that you're broad across the collarbones. Big breath in as you reach the right hand back towards the wall behind you. Chest is going to turn towards the right. Exhale to bring that right hand back towards the front of the mat. Hands to the hips on the exhale. Bringing your weight into your left foot. Inhale to begin to reach the right foot back behind you. Coming to like an airplane pose. Heart is reaching forward. Right heel is reaching back. Soften the standing leg and drop your right toes down onto the mat, coming to a crescent lunge with the shoulders over the hips. Inhale, the fingertips up. Lengthen up through both sides of the waist. And as you exhale, bring your elbows to shoulder height, palms face forward, sinking your hips. Inhale, lift the rib cage, lift the heart. For a little baby back bend. Come as far as it feels good for you here. Inhale, bring the fingertips up, crown of the head up. Pivot on your feet to the right so that your toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Heels are in, toes are out. As you exhale, bend the knees out over the toes, coming into a goddess squat. Again, let your elbows drop shoulder height. Goddess pose. Tailbones turn down, shoulders are over the hips. Tendency here is to lean forward a little bit. Don't let that happen. Next, inhale, straighten your knees, straighten your arms. Big star pose. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale to star. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Pivot on your feet so your heels are out, toes are in now. And roll down over your feet. Bring your hands to your mat. Drop the crown of your head. Easy forward fold here. Let your head drop. Hands are in line with your feet. Just breathe. Take a couple of breaths here in this pose. You might notice on your inhale, you float up out of it. And then as you exhale, you can sink down a little further. Maybe a little further each time. And inhale, find your halfway lift. Pivot your left toes towards the front of the mat. And slide your hips over the right heel, straightening the left leg, right knee's in a deep bend. You can stay here with your fingertips on the mat. You can bring your hands up to heart center. You can bring your right hand to the mat outside your right foot and reach the left hand up and over. Nice skandasana here. If you've got your right hand up and over, just continue that circle, bringing it all the way down and around. Fingertips come inside the right knee, and let's walk the hands forward. Come up on the toes of the right foot, coming to your runner's lunge. Hearts forward, hips are sinking, roll the shoulders back. Now as you exhale, lift the hips, straighten the front knee, let your right heel drop towards the mat and lift the left toes. Might be comfortable or uncomfortable to lift those left toes. Let's flow with this now. Inhale, sink the hips forward, heart forward to your runner's lunge, and then exhale back, triangle. Take these poses to a place where it feels good. Just keep moving with your breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. One more, cut one more time both ways. Coming forward to your lunge, and then step your right foot forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften your knees, and let's rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Dropping the fingertips down next to the hips, sinking your hips back and down as you reach your hands up, coming to chair pose. Big inhale here. Turn the tailbone down. Exhale to sink the hips. Reaching the hands forward from the shoulders and then roll the shoulders back. So you're broad across the collarbones of chest. Now turning the chest to the left, reach your left hand back towards the wall behind you. Nice dynamic chair pose. Inhale, reaching forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Your weight into your right foot this time. And reaching the left heel back behind you. Try and keep your hips even. Don't let that left hip draw upwards. Left toes are pointing down at the mat. Soften your standing leg and slowly drop the toes to the mat. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Inhale the fingertips up. Exhale, sink the shoulder blades, sink the hips. Big breath in, lift the rib cage up and away from the hips. And exhale to sink the elbows to shoulder height. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the rib cage. Keep your hands out of your peripheral vision, so your thumbs are pointing right in at your ears here. Tailbones turn down, and we're lifting into a little back bend. Inhale, fingertips up, crown of the head up. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips, and let's pivot on our feet, coming to a wide-legged stance facing the left side of the mat now. Pivot so your heels are in, toes are out, and bend your knees, bringing your knees out over your toes. They say your knees stay over your ankles, but they're pointing out over your toes. Inhale, fingertips up. And as you exhale, bring your hands to goddess hands. Roll the shoulders back, so you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, opening up across the chest. Let's come up onto the right toes. Sink the hips. Exhale to drop that right heel. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, sink the left heel. Inhale to lift both heels. Exhale, dropping both heels. Inhale, star pose, straighten everything out. As you exhale, hands to heart center, pivot on your feet so they are facing forward. You can take the same forward fold as you did before, hand at the hips and fold forward. Or if you like, you can interlace your fingers at the base of your spine and roll down from here. Bring that fist up and over. Couple of breaths here. And then let's release those fingertips to the mat. Lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Turn, pivot on the right toes so they're facing the front of the mat, and walk your hands over towards the left foot. coming to skandasana. So you can stay with your hands on the mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Right toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. If you like, the left fingertips can come to the mat outside your left foot and reach that right hand up and over. Wherever you are, take a couple of nice easy breaths. And then reach the right hand forward and down. Coming back to the front of the mat. Pivot on the left toes so you're in your runner's lunge. Fingertips are framing the front foot. Sink the hips. Bring the heart forward. As you exhale, bring that right leg towards straight. Lift the toes off the mat as you drop the left heel towards the mat. Inhale. Sink the hips. Heart comes forward. Exhale. Come on back. One more time, each direction. Sinking. Exhale, stretching the back of the right leg. Inhale, coming back to your runner's lunge. And let's step the left foot forward to meet the right. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees and just gently roll all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. As you exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. As you exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands, and you can walk, step, or jump your feet back to your plank pose. Inhale, open the heart, cobra or up dog. As you exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to float that right heel up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring the right shin to the front of the mat. So it's facing the front short edge of the mat. We're coming to pigeon pose. So the left leg is going to extend back behind you. You can keep the toes curled under if you like. Sinking the hips, propping something underneath your right hip if you've got a lot of space there. Left hip drops forward and down. The top of your knee, the top of your foot or your toes pointing into your mat on the left side. Can stay upright like this with the weight of your body, your shoulders over the hips, dropping down into the mat, or you can bring your fingertips forward. Can drop your forearms down onto the mat, maybe your forehead. Up to you. Use blocks and props in whatever way feels good for you. Hands come to the mat, lift the heart. Curl the back toes under, bring your knee in, just a couple of pops. And let's make our way back to, you can make your way back to table or to down dog or to maybe down a three-legged down dog. It's up to you. Everybody meet in down dog. And let's float the left heel. As you exhale, bring that left shin forward. So the left foot's behind the right wrist. Left knee is behind the left wrist. Slide your hips back and down. Slide the right knee back. Prop your left hip up if you need to. Take a look back at your right leg. Make sure it's straight, parallel to the long edge of the mat. Top of the leg is facing the mat. Stay up here with your shoulders over the hips if you like. Get a nice sinking sensation through the hips. If you want to walk your hands forward and down, go ahead. You can use props underneath your hands or your forearms, or come right down onto the mat. Forehead again can rest wherever is comfortable. Bring your hands to the mat, lift your heart, curl your toes under on your right side. And again, you can unwind your left leg from underneath you to tabletop, or downward dog, or a three-legged down dog. Up to you. Bringing the left foot down next to the right. Come up high, high, high on your toes. Bring your knees to the width of the mat. Slide your hips back towards the back of the mat, coming to child's pose, just for 3 breaths. Let's float forward to tabletop. Cross your ankles, roll over your feet. Scooch your hips to the center of the mat. Feet are on the mat. Big toe mounds pressing deeply into the mat. Roll your shoulders back. Reach your hands forward or bring them back behind you on the mat. Up to you. Tuck your chin and slowly roll your spine down onto the mat. Once you get here, you can relax your head, your shoulders, your neck. Lengthen the spine. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then roll onto your left hip. Keep your right shoulder down on the mat. You can extend through your arms or bring them back to that goddess shape. It's up to you. Take a couple of breaths into the right side body. And one more big breath in here. And then as you exhale, bring the knees up to center. And then drop them over to the right. Left shoulder is heavy here. Rolling that left hip right on top of the right hip. You can even bring your chin over to the left shoulder. Breathe deep and easy here. Big inhale. As you exhale, draw your knees back to center. Give them a little hug. And then extend out to Savasana. Heels at the far corners of the mat. Even bring your feet right off the mat. Let your toes fall open. Breathe deep and easy here. When you are ready to begin moving again, begin with a nice deep breath, pulling all that spring energy into our body. Long, slow exhale. Another big breath in. Exhale completely. And then as you return to a normal breath, begin to bring some movement into your body, starting with your fingers and toes. Turning your wrists and your ankles. Your head from side to side. Draw your knees into your chest, eventually rock from side to side. Making your way to the fetal position. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready to make your way up to a comfortable seat, take your time. Bring your hips underneath your shoulders. Crown of the head can come up very last. Inhale the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, thumbs to the third eye, and let's hinge forward. This is our final pose for today. Thank you for coming to join me. Namaste. I hope you have a great day.
Namaste.